Ndegwa, maybe going off reins a bit, because I saw in the smack dab of the middle, Dr. Ignatius, just hold on, we'll come to you. Smack dab in the middle of a drama that was. Frederick has just said he's the one who really blotted the copybook of Harambe Stars. He came with a jinx. We were on a winning tear until a shago happened. But anyway, you can chime in.
Thank you so much, Dibal, and fellow panelists. Allow me to wish my learned friend, Cherargei Senator, happy birthday. And I remind him that one of the cardinal rules is that you always respect your seniors. Whether you agree with Mr.
Thank you.
Murkomen or you don't agree with him, he signed the role of
Thank you for the
advocate before
birthday wishes.
he signed the role of advocate before you did. And therefore, junior advocates
Thank you
must.
for the thank you for the birthday wishes, but the other part I reject. Thank you.
Rejecting will not change the rule. That is how we deal with issues on this other side of our space. You are bound by the principles and the cardinal rules that that were placed before you, and therefore Mr. Murkomen will be granted the respect for signing the role before you did. However,
He was not
I
making
think
his
you
that
may
was
move
differ
not the
with
issue.
in the bar. He was not actually on the bar. Yeah, he was in the bar there. He was in the chambers.
what Mr. Murkomen is saying. Absolutely, I do not agree with him. Most of the pronouncements that he has made do not befit a man who signed the role at his time. But now allow me to go to the issues of the day. One,
I like that.
one. Permit me to mention that I begin with the the PG that was called between ODM and UDA, the fallacious parliamentary incest that is taking place between ODM and UDA. That incest is meant to completely compromise parliament. Is the last blow that, or the last thing that William Ruto was remaining to do to parliament so that he can completely emasculate it. And by the way, the issue of corruption again did arise on that day, but it arose as a result of anger, not driven by the desire to do that which is right, not driven by the desire to do that which is lawful, but driven by the desire to do that which will result into self-gain to Mr. William Ruto. The PG was not called to come and lecture parliamentarians on how corrupt they are. The intention of calling for PG was to whip them and rally them behind the sale of Kenya pipeline. It should not lose sight that the Parliamentary Committee on Energy has made some serious findings and found out that Kenya Pipeline is one of the most enterprising public entity. In their report, which I have on my hands, they made a very positive and objective finding that it makes approximately 10 billion, a profit of 10 billion, and made a finding that this is one of the public entities that ought to be protected. But in their conclusion, they make a disparaging conclusion, very embarrassing conclusion. They nevertheless recommend that the same be sold. That is the reason why William Ruto and Raila Odinga called for the PG. It was to rally them behind. Now, unfortunately, or rather, let me just say this, that the motion for the sale of Kenya Pipeline was to be tabled the following day on Tuesday. And I'm getting this from credible information from individuals who sit in the House Business Committee. So the whole of idea of corruption was not an agenda. The agenda was the sale of Kenya pipeline. But let's now go, let's take this debate further. If Mr. William Ruto knows any person who is corrupt in parliament, the best thing for him to do is to walk to the EACC or walk to the DCI and place a complaint, or even walk to the nearest police station and place a complaint. The law only bars a sitting president from prosecution, either criminal prosecution, or civil cases being brought against him when he's serving. But it doesn't bar him from recording a complaint. If it is true, he knows that there are members of parliament who are corrupt. The best thing for him to do is to rise up and place a complaint against those members before a police station of his choice in the Republic of Kenya. In the absence of that, I'll associate myself with the submissions made by Professor Gitile, that is playing politics with this issue. And the question is, who should call the pot black? The kettle? Is the kettle right when it calls the pot black, or is it pot black right when it refers to the kettle as black? Mr. William Ruto rising up to the holy towers of calling other people corrupt? Anyway, when he was serving member of parliament of, I think, Eldoret North, was he not charged for grabbing land that belonged to KPA? Even as we speak today, is he not transacting business on land that is grabbed, that belongs to Weston? I mean, Mr. William Ruto should be the last person to ever speak about corruption in this country, because he's a mother, he's the architect, he's the engineer, he's the auctioneer, and he's always the highest bidder of corruption and the highest beneficiary of corrupt deals. So he should feel a bit, he should restrain himself from castigating individuals on corruption basis. Allow me to come to the events of Thursday. But before that, allow me to say,
Before we go to Thursday, I think it's also important to just clear the air there that this contentious land that you're talking about was cleared by the courts, yeah, with the National Lands Commission. So that is over and done with.
no, it's not done.
So
It's not done, Dibal. Dibal, it's not done, because what happened in that case, if you may allow me to just devolve into it, Kidogo.
The ball, I'm embarrassed by my
I
land
You
am on my
cannot
commission
allow
feet.
Ndegwa
I
because
to
am
make
on my feet, and
unsubstantiated
council has to
claims.
give me.
You cannot allow him.
the
I
ball,
have
you must moderate the show
I agree.
because
I agree.
it
Moderate the
was
show,
not
Dibal.
this
Ndegwa
the
is always
issue
on a
of this
tangent.
corruption is on a particular tangent. This was
Yeah,
not
he's on a
about William
tangent. You
Ruto. It
cannot
was
allow
about
him.
the state of corruption. And you cannot be just making wild and substantiated allegations.
You see,
This is not a market.
Ndegwa thrives on rumor mongering, and that's what he thrives in.
Correct.
All these things he says
He,
are not
he,
substantiated, and he was
he owns
warned
a
before.
rumor. Frederick, he owns a rumor mongering mill where he generates
I know
most
that
of these
for a
rumors.
fact.
Yes.
Okay,
Dibal,
guys, let him have.
Dibal, can I
Okay, let him
proceed
have his.
now?
Can he, on the issue of allegations that will face the president, those things were litigated in a court of law. It was hard and determined, and he's a lawyer. He knows that.
Dibal, can I
Why would
proceed?
you bring saying he's a beneficiary of corruption? You know, even having illicit wealth and corruption, the law provides for recovery of such property. So Ndegwa should tell us which cases that are in court that is alleging that the president is a beneficiary of corruption. He should lay bare, because we
Dibal,
cannot
can
be
I
just
proceed?
making wild allegations.
Dibal, can I
Okay, let
proceed?
him finish. So
If he
yeah,
cannot substantiate, let him not go that direction.
hang on. Okay,
Dibal,
thank you, Senator. Wakili, if you have any confirmable facts, any stitch of evidence, would be nice also
yes,
for you to speak from a point
yes.
of.
Allow me just to tackle issue of Weston, because you have raised it briefly. What happened in the case of Weston is that a case was filed before the ELC court. advocates were appointed, deliberately instructed with particular instructions, and I'll not mention them. Eventually, what happened is a consent was
The
entered
ball,
between
you know,
Western
the
Hotel.
ball, you cannot,
This is
the
law.
ball,
This
please.
is in record.
Can you rein on the rock speaker? Because one, the issue of what is trying to divulge does not exist because there is client advocate privilege. How comes he's not an advocate in that process? He was not
And he
an
has
interested
information.
party. No, the issue is not even about information. The issue is trying to adjudicate and hear and determine another case that is not no one is aware about. So if he cannot substantiate, let it not reduce this conversation to be about the president. We are discussing about corruption across all multi sectors.
Absolutely.
So when
Absolutely.
he's so it should not reduce because, as you have said,
I think
Frederick, this guy
call
is
Ndegwa to order. He's
pursuing
out of order, and he's using this
a
platform to
particular target.
advance our Munyoro
Yes.
agenda. We know that. We're not going to allow him to
Correct.
advance our Munyoro agenda on this platform. This
Even
is a
if he's
distinguished
desperate to
platform
get
and allow
Yes.
us to debate the issues as
Objectively.
placed on the table by the host. You know?
We should not allow Ndegwa to use this as a
No, we're not.
platform or an altar of selling Wamunyoro, sorry, I almost used an palatable Wamunyoro agenda.
All right, thank you. We've heard you. Ndegwa, please. I think this is getting a bit murky on that, so let's not go full steam ahead in attacking any persons that we don't have any confirmable facts. I wish I had on my table.
I am so careful not to do that, Dibal. And you can see I'm waiting for the charlatans to make all the noises that they wish, and then I have the ample time to respond.
The use of bad mouthing language, he should withdraw and apologize. We are not charlatans. We are leaders.
Please.
We have careers and reputation. You cannot just be hanging around. If they have used insulting people in Wamunyoro, they should not bring it on this platform. He should withdraw the word charlatan.
All right, Senator Cherargei, just let him have his head. And Ndegwa,
kindly. Oh, he must withdraw. It is on record. He must withdraw the word charlatan.
All right, Ndegwa, Njiru,
before he proceeds.
It is a bit reductive for you also to use some of those comments on, our honorable panelists.
I withdraw and proceed. Because I want to make a point. I don't want my point to be lost in the sideshows. Dibal, I said that Mr. William Ruto is the architect of corruption, is the ultimate beneficiary of all the corrupt deals that happen in this country. The good professor did raise a very pertinent issue about the question of procurement. And you know what was happening is that, and perhaps I may not handle that issue right now, but there was a proposed amendment to the Procurement Act that was supposed to make sure that when bidding is being done for projects in this country, whichever project, that you bid it for it online. And that you will not be going for open tendering. It was a process that was being initiated to propagate corruption. But let me not even say that. Why is Mr. William Ruto paying so much by 10 million and he has not commented about the 44.7 billion that has been lost through the e-citizen? And remember, Mr. William Ruto is the architect of the e-citizen paying platform. Why do I say so? I say so because he's the one who ruled, who directed that all government payments must be done on that particular platform. While it was a good idea to enhance accountability, we have ended up losing 44.7 billion. And he has not commented about it. He spent too much by the 10 million that he gave to a particular member of parliament, and that member of parliament failed to hand it over to the intended recipients. Can you imagine William Ruto addressing members of parliament, asking them, na hiyo pesa iliwafikia? So you wanted to confirm, as if kama ingekuwa imewafikia, it would not have been an issue. So Mr. William Ruto should be the last person to speak about corruption in this country. Let me come to the events of Thursday. The events of Thursday are worrying in this country. And the frequent attacks that we people in the United Oppositions have been orchestrated against us are worrying. Any other time that this violence is meted against us, the police ends up not even commenting on it or initiating investigations. Irrespective of the fact that we have now made it our habit to always record a complaint within the nearest police station as and when this violence is meted against us. You must remember that in 2007, when Mr. William Ruto was going to The Hague, he was in the company of Hussein Ali. Hussein Ali was the commissioner of police as at then, was not taken to The Hague because of having taken active part in meting out the violence that was meted against the Kenyans. No, he was charged for failure to take the lawful actions that he was supposed to take. Events of that day are worrying because where we found the roadblock, the police was just adjacent. They had parked beside the road all their water cannons, all their tear gases, all the police battalions, they were there. So they supervised the blocking of the road. They actually released the first canister that that caused confusion so that the goons could take charge. So what are we saying? We are saying this is no longer a goon issue. It's a police, it's a militia that has been released by government. These are government militias. Number two, these attacks are now graduating to the level of pre-election violence. And this pre-election violence, if not controlled, will lead to what His
Point
Excellency
of
Rigathi
order,
Gachagua
Dibal.
was referring to as Christmas. Yes?
Point of order, Dibal.
Just let him finish so that we don't have a long protracted time with him as well. But the other, I think there's a prophetic nations as well. Fred, just let him finish.
Okay.
Just let him finish. Thank you.
So I was finishing and saying that these attacks, they are government planned. These militias are owned by government, and this violence has now graduated to the level of pre-election violence. It should worry everybody. Number two, it is intended that this government will perpetuate this violence all the way to 2027 so that it can act as a means of enhancing voters' apathy and voters' suppression. And I am apprehensive that in the coming elections, if this pre-election violence is not controlled, it may lead to the opposition having difficulties in campaigning in their strongholds. And the biggest question we are asking, why can't people be allowed to express themselves? And then the people will decide. So, Dibal, what we are seeing today, you can see the ineptness of the ODPP, and you can see what the Standard today carried, the corruption weak link. The ODPP takes no actions, even directing the IG to occasion investigations on this violence, pre-election violence. The IG takes no actions, and therefore our country is at crossroad. Kenyans are on their own. Mr. William Ruto is on a self-preservation mood. What matters to him is how he's going to preserve himself. What matters to William Ruto is how he's going to preserve the wealth that he has magically accumulated from public coffers. That is what worries him most. I rest.
Thank you so much.
But whatever Ndegwa is smoking or generating must stop. He must stop. I think he's going off the rails. So does he mean that people who have wealth, why doesn't he, if he wanted to discuss wealth, in fact, if he wanted to discuss wealth, he should start from Kenya.
Dibal, when I was called upon to withdraw the statement,
I have muted all of you. I've muted all of you, please, so that we may go sequentially, kindly, so that we are not cross-talking each other, so we don't have confusion. Please. Ndegwa, we'll get back to you much later. I want just to invite Josephine. just to say something, maybe to bring a spirit of sobriety in all this perspective, so that we don't really go off the rails as well. At the end of the day, we want to come up with amicable solutions moving forward, and find out, are we also in the right trajectory on this as well. I think I lost Dr. Ignatius. I kept him for long. And if he's around, kindly, may you, I can't see you you're lost in the shuffle there. So if you could hit the mic so that I can actually give a mic, will be good as well. Benji, you wanted to say something?
Thank you very much, Diba. Yeah,
okay.
Just a few things. First of all, the topic tonight is people and politics. It doesn't say